And welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. You're joined once again with your host, Shawn Gervais from the OrbisX CRM, as well as Marty, Mr. Marshall Hill from the hyperClean car care products line, as well as the Pints of Polishing podcast, and from a new secret location. Yeah.
Just outside of Rio de Janeiro.
Woo woo! Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been eating good, huh?
Oh yeah. I've only sent you a couple of things. But my wife graciously brought me out some amazing fruit to enjoy during this episode.
Hell yeah.
As you know, the fruit here through different parts, I mean, it's completely different. Like literally it's next level. Like flavors, colors, it's crazy.
Amazing. So much different than like the stuff they ship to us. You know what I mean? It's like by the time it gets to you, like the taste, everything. Yeah. That's where.
So I've got some strawberries, I've got some kiwis type stuff. I don't even know what that thing is, but
that's passion fruit.
The cool one for me, is that passion fruit?
Yeah.
Awesome. The cool one for me is rambutan.
Ah.
Rambutan is a Southeast Asian fruit. And we were walking through this market the other day and I went like, what?
Yeah.
Like you don't see this in the States. So it's really cool. It comes with like these big, like feathery hairs type thing.
Oh shit, no way.
And then inside is a grape with a nut. So
wow.
One of my favorite little fruits from back when I used to go to Southeast Asia. Very popular through Asia.
Damn, right on. Tasty too,
Love
huh? It looks like it. Yeah, yeah.
So I'm drinking today Skull. Local Pilsner.
Wow.
Yesterday on our podcast, I was drinking Brahma. Brahma's like their Budweiser in a sense. It's their just go-to normal cheap beer. Nice. Easy lager, super easy to drink. This is a Pilsner. They're all pretty easy to drink, you know. Not a lot of flavor, just really easy.
Yeah, yeah. How's the variety down there too? Like a lot of different local horrible shit. I feel like you're fucking with me. No, serious, huh? Oh shit.
Yeah, serious. So tomorrow for the community pub, I did find a craft brewery. We found one, so I grabbed some beer, but I mean the craft scene is like about as many as there are detailers.
Wow.
Very few, very little. So, you know, there's about 4 or 5 mainstream beers. Then you've got, you know, Heineken, you got Corona.
Damn.
You know, I mean,
it's crazy.
There's probably not even 10 beers all together.
Damn. Okay, and that's still more than like when I used to live in the Caribbean. When I used to live in the Caribbean, we only had there were 2 main ones. We had Stag and Carib. And there was like a big fucking war. It was like, you know, it was kind of like, you know, people that drive Dodge Rams, you know, they're like, it's like the Rams versus the man, people would go to war for it. They would, even their ads, because it's the Caribbean, they were a lot more free with their ads, you know, they'd be like, real men drink this, and it'd be like, pussies drink this. Like they were just like out with it. But yeah, there was a huge competition between the two because there's only the 2. But yeah, my preference, I preferred Stag, but you could buy that one here. Carib, I haven't actually seen that here, but I don't know. But yeah, but there was just the 2, so those are your choices.
Yeah, I mean Heineken is the number 1. I think most people. I mean, there's if you don't drink the cheap beer, the next one is really just Heineken. I mean, Heineken and Corona. There's just not much else.
Not much else. Yeah. Well, I got a new one for today as well. I got a Canadian drink, and it's kind of funny because it's passion fruit, so it's called Passion, but this is out of Montreal, Quebec. So they make it's to make cocktails with, but they have a whole line different things, and so it's vodka based, and I've been mixing it with so what I got right now, because it's passion fruit with vodka, I'm mixing it with a little bit of white rum, and then I got these watermelon bubblies, you know. So those things, man, I'm telling you, this mixture, I need a name for it, but man, it's killer, man. Yeah, it's hot here, so nice fresh, you know, drink like that. I mean, I'm saying it's hot here, and you're like, bro, like,
no, it's winter.
Oh shit! So, yeah, that's
perfect time to come. Perfect. You couldn't ask for a better time. It's 75 degrees, 80 degrees, like perfect.
Man. Yeah.
Like, so this little area where I'm at, after, you know, I sent you some photos of lunch with some amazing feijoada, you know, caipirinha, like awesome little lunch.
Yeah.
Came back here and I did a little video and worked on some video skills while I was
nice.
washing the car with some eco wands.
Yeah,
So,
that's wicked. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just got done cleaning the car, hanging out here in Brazil. Like, what else could you ask for? Right? It's awesome.
Man.
75 degrees, drinking some beer, good times.
man, lucky man. Yeah. How's the product holding up out there? Yeah, I'm so jealous right now.
Oh, great. I mean, down here, we had some distributor meetings, one,
Nice.
that you and I talked to about and, trying to prep for, and
Yeah,
it's fun, right? It's
yeah,
hustling, finding new business, trying to go to, a different country and
exactly.
trying to
Yeah,
work in, like, what a challenge, what an opportunity. I mean, it'll be I'll talk about it here in a little bit when I get to do part of your bouquet, but, it's like growing bamboo. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
absolutely. I love it. And see, now the bouquet will be an interesting one today because you're around all those fresh flowers. Man, no, that's awesome though. And that's honestly, that's the thing, I know a lot of business owners that have come to me asking for advice different times and like, oh man, that's great. Thanks. Where did you learn how to do that? And they're thinking that there's some sort of like school you go to there's schools for, to learn business elements and foundational basics and things, but a lot of it's just putting yourself out there. And so a lot of it was when I took a chance and just moved to a foreign island and we opened an office and I hired people and I had to go through all of those stumbling blocks times 100 that any entrepreneur goes through because I'm now in a foreign place, foreign policies, foreign regulations, even just the culture with the people was different, everything. So you learn quickly that way. It's kind of like studying abroad, right?
Crash course.
Yeah, exactly. And so there were things that I don't think any course back home could have prepared me for. Like there wasn't really and you just got to kind of roll with it. But yeah.
What inside you made you want to do that?
Oh, well, it's cold as hell up here. That's number one.
Really?
So yeah. Oh yeah.
Always wondered why people live there.
Yeah, trust me, I wonder all the time. Yeah. But yeah, so I there was that aspect, but the other aspect was just to try something new and just go somewhere. We knew we wanted to be somewhere in the Caribbean. We just weren't sure where. And so we're like, well, let's just look at some opportunities that are there. Because the thing is, you can always go back, right? Like you can always just hit rewind and undo whatever you've done in a sense, So it's like, okay, we're gonna, go open this business or try this. And then, hey, if it doesn't work out, that's okay. It's not like, the whole world blows up and explodes. You just stop and go back and do something else, So, but yeah, at the time we had the marketing agency. That was where it started. And I said, well, if I move the business, I could probably offset our costs quite a bit, hire 10 times as many people, provide employment somewhere that they have no jobs. So this would actually be really good for them as well. Provide cheaper labor compared to what I was paying for with our, ad group and stuff like that. And I said, you'll probably do 10 times the results. And then things were great for a while. We had 32 employees. It was like things were just pumping until Carnival came. And then everything went to shit because people didn't work for several weeks. And it's really difficult when everybody's off for several weeks. Really difficult to keep the business going, especially most of our clients were in North America and they weren't very receptive to that. Like, well, I have a campaign to put out Monday, so you guys are off for 3 weeks. Like, so it was a tough way to run a business. So that's why we left. But plus you get bored on like where you are, it'd probably be less likely to get bored. A lot more stuff to do. No, same thing, huh? Oh shit.
I could definitely see that. Like,
yeah,
but you could see it in people too. It's something interesting my wife and I talked about. I mean, you can see on people's faces if they're happy, if they're not. People are people. I kind of said this yesterday, like on our episode for the Pints Polish podcast, like it really doesn't matter where you go. I mean, people's skin might change, their voice might change, they might have a different dialect. Like at the end of the day, people are people. They're gonna fall into different camps, they're gonna be in different groups, but they're people. And
it's true.
As long as you can understand that, like you can really go and do anything in the world, really. Like as long as you can understand how to work with people and different people, yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you can do it anywhere.
At the end of the day, we're just people.
It's true. Yeah. But then you also have to realize that going somewhere that might seem like paradise, just because it has a nice beach and it's not living there and being there full time, it's a lot different, and that's
and they don't make a lot and it's expensive.
Yeah.
So most people don't get to do all that fun stuff.
It's true, yeah. And that's where it was same thing where we went. Like we we went with some money, but once we got there, we realized just how little money we had compared to like Steve's Jobs' wife was there. You know what I mean? Like she used to park her boat outside of our place, and we were living in the wealthier than the locals part, but poorer than the super wealthy that were there. Like they're the ones that pulled up, like the one guy, he parked a boat that was massive inside his other massive boat. Like he had a garage at the back of his boat. I was like, man, this is just ridiculous. Like the amount of money was just astronomical. So it really puts things in perspective. But for us, it was, yeah, same thing. You go there, the glamour and glitz, it's glittering, it's gold. And then after you're there for a little bit, you're like, oh, this is, people are people. And we're just in a different place. And, you know, oh, I really miss this or that. And so I think the most ideal scenario is just traveling around a lot.
Bingo. Yeah. And, you know, that, so why I said it publicly, it's always been a thing for me is you got to find something that most people, even here, right? Like this is why it really came to my mind heavy is you can see in people happy or not happy. Doesn't matter if you're in America, if you're in Canada, it doesn't matter. Either you're happy or you're not happy.
It's true.
Finding things to do in life that make you happy and that you can make some money at. Like that's such a rare, it is the key, but it's so rare. It's so rare to go to another country and meet somebody and have a connection, right? To actually enjoy conversation with somebody. Most people don't want to talk to you, right? It's rare to then find something in life that makes you happy. Most people aren't happy, and it doesn't matter where they are. So you can see it on people's faces. It's so important to find something that makes you happy and enjoy it.
That's true. And then if you can find a way to make you money, man, you're not going to work a day in your life. You're going to be happy as hell.
Well, you're going to work. I mean, we're working.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I enjoy the shit out of what I do.
But I enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
I just washed and cleaned and detailed a car. But you know what?
That's amazing.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I shot videos while I was doing it. We'll do a production on, like, I worked.
Yeah.
Had a fucking blast while I did it at the same time.
Yeah. So and that's the thing is that it's
still work,
but not work, you know? So it's that's the perfect harmony, really. I find it's same thing for me. Like when I do customer service, someone will ask a question about, you know, OrbisX, how do I do this or that? And I'm explaining it to them and it's 11 o'clock at night. A lot of people might look at that and be like, geez, man, this guy works all the time. And it's like, I don't know. I didn't even realize I was working. Like it's just, I love talking about my product and my service, and someone had a question. I was there to help them out.
Most detailers are going, well, duh, right? Like most detailers listening go, yeah, that's why we detail. I love to detail. I get it. Like I'm agreeing with you if you're that guy.
Yeah. 100%.
But the flip side though, you can't just do things that you enjoy all the time.
True. Yeah.
That's the flip of the coin.
Yeah, because if you're going to make money at it, there's going to be some times where you don't enjoy it, you know? And same thing. There's some times where, like in all my businesses, that I don't enjoy a particular thing. You know what I mean? But needs to be done. That's like me. I'm not so big on meetings. I hate meetings. It seems like all these, I've been, especially lately, a lot of people, can't mention some names yet, but there's some big companies that have been reaching out to partner in certain things with some of their products or offerings. That's all I'll say for now. But when they reach out, all these big companies, they've got, you know, massive departments that are almost like made just for meetings. So all they want to do is have fucking meetings, meeting after meeting after meeting. And I'm like, oh my God, this is brutal, because 30-minute meeting. And I'm like, there was maybe 2 things that we could have handled by email easily, but I got to do it because that's the way they want to do things. And so, you know, you got to do it. And that's how I keep bringing new features like the one we just launched with Google. And that's how I bring those things to people is through those meetings. I enjoy the after effects, you know, so it's it's part of the process, I guess, you know. Yeah. So, man, it's interesting, though, the traveling thing. So I was thinking about some topics that I was going to talk about this week. I was writing them down, you know, things like that. And then last night, I was doing some programming, and I don't know why, but sometimes I'm just on a roll and I just don't stop programming. Next thing you know, I look up and it's like 4 a.m. I'm like, oh shit, you know, but my kids are away at camp right now. Anyway, so I was watching some TV and I was watching, you know, Hell's Kitchen, Chef Ramsay, and just watching some crazy stuff, him yell at a bunch of people. After like 3-4 episodes, I was like, okay, I got to change this to something else. And I'm scrolling through Netflix and it said continue watching. And I was like, I never watched this before. Well, my daughter was using my account and she loves animals. So she was watching that Our Planet series, but it was the second one, Our Planet 2. And I was like, continue watching. I was like, man, this looks pretty cool. And especially I was working in the theater and we just got a new laser projector. Holy shit, man. Laser projector, by the way, that's the way to go. Yeah. If anyone's got a home cinema or something, you've got that old bulb projector type thing, man, scrap that. Laser. Oh my God. It's like beyond 4K. It's ridiculous. And anyway, so just seeing the artwork for it in Netflix on the big screen, I was like, oh man, it looked so good. So I was like, okay, let me check this out. And the first episode I'm watching is on migration of animals. I'm like, okay, I know what animals migrate and all this stuff. So I'm like, okay. After this episode, I literally stopped coding for like 25 minutes and I was just watching the episode. I closed my laptop down and I waited and I was like, hey, that's what I'm talking about, because it's crazy to me. There's these birds, for example, they go from New Zealand all the way up to this area by the Bering Strait. They go up by Alaska. And I'm like, why are they going? It's something like in kilometers. They said it was 6,000 kilometers, whatever that is in miles. I don't know, half that, like 3,000 miles or something crazy. They do that for food. They're flying from one part all the way there. And I'm thinking to myself, are they nuts? Like, surely to God, maybe after 100 miles, you couldn't have dipped down in the ocean and maybe catch yourself a fish. Like you had to go 3,000 miles. Like what do the other animals in New Zealand eat? There's obviously fish there, you know? So I was like, why the hell did they go all the way out there? And they do it in one particular day of the year, and it's in middle of July. And so anyway, I was watching this thing, and they all meet up there, and so do the humpback whales. They all go up there at the same time, and there's literally 1 million birds that join them, 1 million. And so it's the largest gathering of birds on the planet that make that migration, and they go there. And I was thinking to myself, why the hell would they travel that far though? And then they showed what it was, is that the Earth is closest to the sun in that one point. And the cool thing is that all these, I don't know, algae and plankton and all kinds of stuff just blooms, but in quantities unlike anywhere else in the Earth. So it's just unreal. But you got to think, how do migrations start? Like, it's not like since the beginning of time, all those birds were born and they all made this long trek. That happened over many, 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 many years, right? And so it's basically the oldest form of word of mouth, I'm sure, because one bird tells the next bird or something like that. But anyway, it got me thinking from a business point of view, is that I've always had the mindset that, okay, all of our customers are within a 10-mile radius. That's what I always figured, because that's what, I was always taught by, previous mentors that had brick and mortar businesses. And they all said, all your customers are going to be within, 5 to 10 miles. And it's because they were very much based on foot traffic, right? And so I was applying that model for a lot of our advertising in our auto detailing business, is that, okay, the 5 to 10 mile rule. I was kind of going with that. That's when we'd run our ads, I would limit them that way and things like that. Anyway, after seeing these birds, and they travel all the way there because whatever food is right beside them isn't exactly what they're looking for. They're literally traveling halfway around the Earth because the spoils are worth the journey, right? And so I started thinking about that, and I've started looking at other little pockets within the city, and I've taken a different approach now. So I've got some campaigns queued up. I don't have results yet because we haven't started them, but I will have them for our next follow-up episode. And I think it's going to be an interesting sort of little test. And what I'm going to encourage everybody to do is migrate with your business as well, is that look for that one spot where the shrimp and the plankton and everything is bountiful, because you might be having access to, fish around your local watering hole, but maybe there's something, a greater pot of gold just outside of that. And so with that, look for something a little bit further away. And the way to do that is with your targeting in your ads. Go ahead.
So I find it curious, and would love to go back and watch that too, is
it was
do
good.
they only go, you said, on one day? Is it because the way the Earth rotates and there's this moment where it all is happening at once?
Exactly.
And then it goes away later?
Yes.
So maybe one idea too, to correspond with what you're saying, is also look for those moments. Random things that happen that are going to just take place one day or one time, but it's a feast right? Like there's a reason everybody's there, and how can you go be a part of that one day? There's a lot of energy going on. There's probably a lot of trade. There's a lot of commerce.
Yeah.
So a lot of things happening. How do I go be a part of that? And specifically, I know a guy inside of our community. He's one of our distributors. His name's Pig Daddy, and he goes around a bike. He's a biker. So Sturgis is coming up. There was this thing called Little Sturgis, and so he went to Little Sturgis. He posted like 1,300 miles or something, and there was all the photos of him being there, cleaning these bikes and doing all this stuff. And then he came back and he's like, okay, now I'm going to go out to Sturgis. Like, okay, he's finding those pockets of where there's going to be a lot of traffic, a lot of energy, a lot of commerce. Might be for one day. How can I go be a part of it? Or something.
100%. And so part of when you were saying that, I started laughing a bit because I was like, is Marty like tapped into my subconscious here? Because the other part of my tip was once the that's what happens when you go to Brazil, you hone in all that energy. And so the other part of my tip,
an hour ahead of you, right? So
that's it. We were talking about that earlier. See, you're in the future. You already knew what I was going to say. I fucking knew it. See? Yeah, that's where I asked you. I was like, when do we win the Olympics? And you were like, yes.
Twice.
Twice. That's right. You said twice. So the second part of my tip was,
I'm going to get a beer. Keep going.
All right, perfect. After they leave. So after the birds leave, what happens? And there's other opportunities that became present for other things that were there. And so it was pretty interesting because when they made their journey back to start basically giving birth to, their young and everything, other animals could move in now, and they had a source of food from the new, babies that were born there, right? So other things came, and where this ties in is, man, you took the words right out of my mouth, no joke, but there's a car show that comes to our city every year. Most cities do a car show at some point, exotics and things like that. But when it comes to events with timing, not everybody can attend those events at that particular time. So what we're doing is we've got access to a bunch of exotics that we're going to have at our shop, and we're going to run some ads that say, did you miss the car show? It's not too late to bring the young ones in to see some Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like this. And now they're coming to our shop instead. And it's really easy because we can target people that either watch the YouTube videos that were for the upcoming car show that we had, or that liked the page, and so on and so forth. So we can actually target those people specifically online, people that express interest in going. So that's what we're doing. And that's the looking for those opportunities that are far away, but then also capitalizing on the post opportunities as well. You took it right out of it. It's because you're an hour ahead, man. That's it. Yeah, you already know what I'm going to say next. That's fine.
No, I'm not. I clocked out.
You're like, that's it. I clocked out now. Yeah.
I did my one. I'm good.
That's where you have to play it off. You have to be. It takes a lot of energy out of me. I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't keep reading.
Yeah, what you said.
Yeah. I did a card trick the other day. We had some of the nephews over. Real quick, then we'll get into that. And one of the tricks involved a setup. So I set up the deck, did the trick, nailed it, and then this kid goes, I'm going to watch you this time. Do it again. I was like, oh no. So I was like, listen, I'm old. I type a lot. I have arthritis. My hands hurt in a bit. Okay. I just got to rest my hand. I was like, that little shit. He caught me so good. I was like, can't right now. I'm just tapped out,
Yeah. Too much energy.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta think about my tips. So hold on.
Yeah. Exactly. Gotta recharge the tips. But what are we drinking now? What's that one? Ooh,
Pirio.
I like it.
It is just an easy.
I like the can. Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, I like that. Nice crown on it. What's the percentages of their beers there?
Easy. 4, 5. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not much. They drink a lot. They drink a lot, so it can't be heavy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because that makes sense. Yeah. Not like here where ours here pretty heavy in their percentages. Yeah.
No, and especially as it gets hot, right? So there's no way they could keep drinking those heavy.
The sun hits you.
It's all pilsners, lagers, lights. Yeah,
nice.
real easy.
Yeah.
So I love what you're talking about, because I kind of wanted to talk about, and it'll tie into what you're saying, especially with the events, because Pints and Polishing Podcast was at its foundation giving away beers, having pint nights at SEMA, at Mobile Tech Expo. It was our way of going to a big thing that we would migrate to, so that we could put on something. I knew I couldn't compete in the show with the big dogs, but I knew I could outsmart the big dogs and go in a different way. And that's what we did. And we grabbed massive amounts of attention, and it's what really propelled us into, where we're at today, which is the overall tip for me of build a bamboo garden. I mean, that's the tip. Build a bamboo garden. Like, okay, build a forest. Like, but we all know, if you don't, most people know the saying about a bamboo. It grows extremely fast.
Oh yeah.
After about 6 years. But anywhere from, they say, 5 to 14 years it takes of, tilling, planting, watering, fertilizing, and you see nothing until suddenly, and you can go and Google it and find out how fast it grows, but it dramatically shoots if you've tended it, if you've watered it, if you've taken care of it. Why the hell does this matter? Well, because if you believe that your life is a game and you're blessed to play it, doesn't matter which country you're in, doesn't matter what you were born into, what situation you were born into, you were blessed with life. And life is a game. Well, for those of us that also then wanted to take the game on the next level, we got into business. Business is a complete different game, right? Like, it's a game in its own self. Very like, and an extremely difficult game. So while you're playing, you need to play chess instead of checkers. This is something my Nick and I talk about. You got a Nick, I got a Nick. Like, we talk about the game of chess inside a business almost weekly. And you got to understand that the game of chess is much different than chess. Okay. Well, what did I say? I said the game of checkers is different than chess, right?
Yes, so exactly.
We're trying to play chess. You've got a bunch of different moves, you got a bunch of different things that you can do. We all know that in business, there's times we need something. We need it. We need to go. We need to pump. We need to go. We need this now. We need it. Well, if you're only doing that, you're playing what? Checkers. Right? You've got to learn how to play chess and build bamboo. Bamboo is going to take you years of work that you won't see hardly anything, but you know why you're doing it. And you know that eventually it's going to bring you something. They don't know how much bamboo. You don't know what type of bamboo. There's so many different, but you know that it's going to produce. So if I can hone in my gardening skills after some bamboo have come up, and I can still keep playing the game and work on the next 5 to 10 years, and when I'll see the next crops, I can really start to hone in. I can learn from my mistakes in my 20s and build in my 30s to build into my 40s, so that in my 50s. If I'm playing chess, if I'm building a bamboo garden, that I want to build a bamboo forest, because I know that later I will continue to produce. I'll get better at gardening. I'll get better at seeing the results and knowing how to fix things. And if I keep planting the bamboo, I'll keep producing something later in life that is going to produce so much more fast, right? Fast. And
True,
just shoot. Years ago, handing out beers at Mobile Tech. Today, getting the opportunity to go and push us to a global level, meeting with people to put us into a global company.
And by pioneering that, a lot of people at the time might not have understood or had the forethought to say, oh, I can foreshadow, like I can see where this is going to take the company. You could see that. You were like, if we lay the groundwork, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, I saw it from years of, years of having to figure things, years of planting, years of seeing mistakes, years of seeing where I need. 21 years, right? The entire reason, which is my Nick and I talked about this before I left, right? big deal to come down here and meet with some people, try and grow to a global company, things that we wanted to then do with the family here so she can see her family, right? And I go, Nick, it's gonna take a lot of work, and there's might be problems, and sure enough, there always is, like,
of course, yeah,
it's part of it. But I just go, man, 20 something years ago, that's why I got into business. I started cleaning cars so that I could do something like this later in my life. And here I am at 45, started in my young 20s, just getting the opportunity, right? Still growing the bamboo, right? Still even here, I'm realizing I've got to plant bamboo here, and it might take years and years to see the results. We don't know.
100%.
It might happen real quick, where you're not sure. But if I don't keep planting, don't keep thinking about
then nothing's
what
gonna
I
happen.
could do. So you
Exactly.
always have to keep, what can I do? What maybe? I
Yeah,
got into business for this. I got into do it this way. How do I plant some bamboo so that later I can see some results?
it's true. Yeah, because that's what my wife. We just finished up our garden, and the garden in the front, and she did the same kind of thing. She literally took a piece of paper, she drew out the shape of what the garden's in, and then it's about 65 feet wide by 14 feet. It's a pretty decent sized garden, and she had to plan out where each of these plants would go, because some of the plants were not even grown for anything other than, oh, this one gives off nitrogen into the soil, so the ones beside it will benefit, and so on and so forth. And then she put asparagus in, and I got all excited thinking, this is gonna be awesome. I get to eat asparagus this year from our garden. And she says, no. She said, it might take up to 6 years. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I want asparagus now. And she said, well, go to the grocery store, because you plant them, and the first season they just come up. The majority that come up are females, I think it is, and you don't want those ones. You want the male ones to eat. And so you have to rip all the female ones out. And then next year, more males will come. And that's where it starts to, but you can't eat those ones. They're like too acidic or something. I don't know. She was explaining it to me, but it's usually like year 3, you'll get your first harvest, but it's really small. Year 4 and 5, you start to get bountiful harvest. And then from year 6 onwards, because they can go up to 20 years, you're basically giving away asparagus to everybody because you just have too much of it. And so but you got to put that work in the beginning, and you're going to be looking at a little patch in your garden that not much is happening, but you got to still water it. You got to still tend to it like you would if there were actual plants there. It's crazy, but yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, and that's where planting those seeds though. But I agree, because it's taken me a long time to get to this point where I mentor some people now, and they say like, oh, I want to get, I want to be, at home, passive income and this and that, and I say, listen, you have to understand that takes years and years and years to get to a point where you have a lot of opportunities like that at your doorstep. It doesn't just happen. And they think they can kind of shortcut it, but you can't really shortcut. Sometimes it happens fast, sure. But most often you got to go through that process, and you got to, plant and tend to a lot of bamboo, and maybe this one over here, shoots up after 2 or 3 years. This one over here, maybe it shoots up after 10 years. Like, who knows? So it's, well, congrats, Marty, on the expansion plans there. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Expanding is no joke. Like, a lot of people don't realize what they think. Oh, I just got to scale. It's just, I'm going to take what I'm doing, copy, paste. And it's like, maybe he might be copy, paste, rewrite, delete, backspace. You gotta, there's a lot of shit to it.
So to kind of finish out and yesterday I was talking to Nick on our episode, and then, third world country, we lost electricity right at the end. I didn't get to finish what I was going to say, but I wanted to say it, with you, because behind the scenes, you and I are working on an account, right?
Yeah.
Like actively working
Planting
on
bamboo.
how do we make right? How do we actively make a proposal for somebody? How do we try and take what we've started over the years, working together, building a community, and then duplicate it into, as both you grow, as both I grow, as the companies grow, like, how do we continue growing together? Like, Shawn, man, how do we get you down here with these people? What's a deal that we can all put together? How do we work this together? Because that's ultimately community. Like,
absolutely.
This is why I love this, and it cut me off, but that's fine, because I was saying this yesterday, and I think I'll probably it'll be one of those things that I'll say forever. You see people that grind.
Yeah.
And what are they? they're alone.
Yeah.
Those that
Grinding
climb,
it out.
right? Those
They're
that
with
climb,
people.
they're with people. When you
Yeah.
climb, you have to have people.
Yeah.
If you never get off the ground and you're just grinding, you don't need anybody. So keep grinding away. Like you can't, you see this in people's faces here. You see it in people's faces in America and Canada. They grind, they're not happy, and they're alone.
Yeah.
You climb, you got struggles, but you're enjoying it. And you're with some people and you're really doing your best to go through life.
It's true.
Because life, we're all blessed to have it.
Yeah.
Not everybody
Absolutely.
takes advantage of it. Not everybody does.
It's true, which is so surprising to me because you got everybody out here living like we're vampires, like you're just gonna live forever. Like you're not. And also the chances of you being here are astronomical. The chances of you being here and being a human being are even more small. You know what I mean? Like you could have come as like a Bengal tiger or something, you know. But it's yeah, I think that's a good thing. And I've been teaching this to my kids because my daughter, the youngest one, she asked me recently, she she sees me pop up on the YouTube sometimes because she'll see, you know, the videos I uploaded when I'm in my account or something like that. She's like, Daddy, how much do you get paid for each of those episodes? And I was like, directly nothing. She's like, you don't get paid for them? I said, no, we do this for free. She's like, why do you do it for free? I said, because it's laying the groundwork for other things. It's working together and collaborating with people so that doors will open, exposure comes, you get attention, and more importantly, you surround yourself with a network of like-minded people that can, you know, share ideas, that can collaborate on specific projects. There's a whole plethora of things that money can't buy. Like I said, I asked her, I said, Mariana, what price tag would you put on it? Because I might do one episode where, you know, maybe nothing comes out of it. We just joke around and talk about nothing, you know, but maybe someone sees that and they're like, holy shit, you know, I really like these guys' vibe, you know, let me reach out to them and get some hyperclean product, or let me sign up for OrbisX. Like, who knows? And then that guy might bring another 10, 20 people, like, who knows? So I said, you can't really put a price on it. And oftentimes when you charge for certain things, it's kind of a hindrance to building a community, you know? And so that's where, in this case, you know, I get a lot of enjoyment out of this. Don't even feel like I'm working. Well, I mean, drinking and it's off the clock, so that helps. But it's a tough life. But yeah, it's important, you know, relationship, networking, building those kinds of things, and then focusing on even just the fact that we have to think of stuff to talk about and then talk it through. It's almost like we're teaching ourselves as well, you know. So like I learned from my own tips, and I learned from your tips as well, you know. So it's I was trying to say that in the least dirty way possible. But yeah, so the tips help me. So it's not any better, but yeah, I think that you know, what you're doing there is groundbreaking, literally, and that's an important thing, you know. So a lot of people should see that, and number one, hats off to you. They should see that and just be proud. But the other thing is they should see that as a kind of a guideline for what is possible, you know, because like, man, it's taking a leap of faith. Like you asked me before, like, why'd you just go to a different country and start, you know, an agency there and stuff? And it's take a chance. I was trying to plant some bamboo. We actually had bamboo outside of our house down there too, ironically. And that shit, I didn't plant that one though, but it did grow like crazy. It was amazing. Like not even a joke, like a foot a week. It was insane. Like, yeah, it was just nuts, but strong too. Holy Jesus. Yeah, that stuff, they made floors with it and stuff like that there. But like, yeah, anyway, it was intense. But yeah, man, so what's in your docket for the rest of the week? You guys gonna go see some monkeys and stuff, or
I hope not. No.
Looking open.
I'm ready to get back to work, man.
I hear you though. That's
so, you know, last week was more of the, you know, we did Rio, we went to Sao Paulo, I got to see, which was really cool, man. She got us tickets to Sal George, who is the first musician that I kind of latched onto, because it just his voice, his tone, their style, I just went, okay, I can
vibe with this. Yeah.
The first song is so funny. The first song was Bugajina, which is actually him making fun of yuppie people.
Oh shit.
And I'm like, fuck, that's America. Like, I mean, he's just basically making fun of me. I like this guy. Like, you're my dude. So super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had
Right
a lot
on,
of
man.
fun. Went down. She scheduled for me to go down there and meet him. And it's like, I told him
Jesus.
that story. Yeah. So,
Yo.
dude, thank you. Like, Bugagina, I said, listen, it's fucking hilarious because
Yeah.
I think you're making fun of us, you know, like it's hilarious, man. He's a funny dude. Fucking
Yeah.
huge, tall dude. One of those real low, raspy voices.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sal George. Cool dude. Yeah.
Wow, right on, man. That's awesome. Though. See, it's all those kind of experiences too. And so, see what I mean? You're working, but also doing this kind of stuff. You know, so it's like best of both worlds. You know. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because when we were in Sao Paulo, that's when we were doing meetings and meeting some people, and we went over to another city and met with some people, and like, you know, we're hustling as well as we're having fun. It's a great time.
Best of both worlds.
So the rest of the week now, I mean, we're here at the sister's house, you know, pretty low key the rest of the week. We got the community pub tomorrow night. It's gonna be a blast, and we just keep rolling. Yeah.
Right on, man. Yeah, every day. See, every day I'm hustling. I got to do that outro. You know that song? Yeah, exactly. I'll roll that after the credits. But awesome. Well, Marty, listen, enjoy yourself, man. Congratulations again. And so we'll see you next Tuesday. Are you back next Tuesday or?
Yeah. We'll be back Monday.
You're like, I have to.
I
know what you mean. After a while,
you just got to get back to work.
I was just talking about this because we're heading to Mexico, and I was like, you know, they had options, and we were like, okay, do we do the 7, 10, or the 14 number of days? And I was like, honestly, 14 is just too long for me. 7's too short. Like 10's just right there at that sweet spot.
That's good.
You know, so I was like, and then I was like, oh wait, the kids are coming. Okay, we'll do 7, and then we're gonna go again. And just me and the wife, you know.
Well, the cool thing about living in 23, right? You can do pretty much anything remotely now. I mean, it's now. I mean, so we were at one of our uncle's houses. His wife works for a French automotive company, and so the next morning she was on the computer doing like us, having meetings, like living remotely, working with a company out of France that sells in Brazil. Like, there's so many opportunities for anybody that has an idea, and I think that's the key to this bamboo thing. If you have an idea of what you want to do, you got to hustle after it. You got to go chase it. You got to put in the energy, the time. If you something you really want, it might take time, but you can eventually begin to fulfill the life that you really want if you put in the work. If it's something that you go after.
Yeah, 100%. And that's where, for those guys listening that do like detailing, you can still detail and become a distributor, for example. You know,
absolutely. Well, what's fun about here is I signed up some distributors while I'm here back in the States because, you know, they went out to our website, hypercleanstore.com, and filled out the contact form, said, hey, I want to talk about distribution. I'm here in Brazil making phone calls back, talking to them, signing up, you know, distributors. It's a lot. I mean, just working in a different place. That's it.
Exactly. What's the difference if you're there or you're back home? You know, it's the same thing. Yeah. I do the same thing. That's where laptop always comes with me. You know, I'm fortunate enough I can do work on the road, so take advantage of it. You know, life is short, places to see. There's kelp and shrimp to eat in faraway lands. I'm telling you, check that out though. Definitely. Yeah. It's Our Planet 2. The second one, man, the vibrancy of how they filmed it. Oh, anyway, it's good. Yeah. But there's some, don't watch it with the kids though. There's some sad parts. Like, I made that mistake. Oh my God. Anyway, tiger sharks, seagulls. It was a bad scene. Yeah. But anyway.
Happy shark.
Yep. He wins every time. Not even a contest. But all right. Awesome, Marty. I appreciate you. Good stuff. So tomorrow, guys, check out the community pub. What time is that? Central. What time would that be?
Well, we don't do it publicly. Well, you can go to hyperclean store.
After.
Hyperclean Store's Facebook group.
Gotcha.
No, Facebook page. So we'll air it on that Facebook page, but we don't do the where everybody can come on anymore. So but they can go to the Facebook page and watch it live.
Beauty. All right, good stuff. Awesome, man. Listen, enjoy the rest of that beer. I'm jealous. I'm gonna go back to my my passion, which I'm gonna be honest, it's good, but it's a little too
it's too sweet.
Yeah, it's the acidity and everything. Yeah, I get the second.
Too much acid.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, too much acid. I'm starting to see shit. So it's Awesome. I'm not doing any more coding today then, but or maybe I'll do the best coding of my life. Yeah. Let me see. Let me practice in Notepad first.
You're gonna develop AI inside of AI. That's what you're gonna do.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the AI is going to get scared of the AI that's inside. Exactly.
AI 2, I want you to build a robot to take over AI 1
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
before it builds a robot to take over us.
exactly. And then Elon Musk's going to buy it out and fire everybody. Love it. All right, man. Enjoy yourself. Stay away from the monkeys. And yeah, I guess next time we talk, you'll be back on native soil. Right on, man. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your trip, man. Yeah, all right, later, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Ciao.
Hey, ciao. Yeah, see. Tengo un buen día. I don't know how to say it in Portuguese.